Financing your dream home might seem difficult, but don't worry. If you have any questions related to home finance, whether it's about interest rates, repayment strategies, or tax deductions available for your loan amount, then you've tuned into the right show. Hello and welcome. You are watching Property Hotline with me, Kavita Krishnan, on Magicbricks Now. With me today is our special guest, PV Subramanyam. Subra is a home finance expert. Welcome to the show, Subra.
Good evening. Welcome.
Subra, let's get started. Our first caller has already dialed in. Sanjay Gupta has called us from Bengaluru. Sanjay, what's your question? How can we help you?
Yeah. Hi, Subramanyam. I have a question here. So, I took the loan in the year 2013, okay? And when I took the loan, it was a fixed interest rate, okay? So, after 2 years, it got converted into floating interest rate.
Okay.
Okay? So, when it got converted to floating interest, floating interest rate, the interest rate was changing every quarter, okay? So, last few quarters, I'm observing that the interest rate is not changing. It is fixed to 11.5%. Okay. So I wanted to know the reason why my interest rate is not varying every quarter.
First of all, 11.5% in itself is quite a high interest rate. Don't you think so, Subra, for this point in time?
See, when you take a loan, you have to read your agreement and you have to look at two things. To what is it linked? And how often will it be reset? You are saying that earlier they were resetting it every quarter. Just check why they are not doing it now. Do they have some agreement which says first 2 years they will reset, then they will reset every year or whatever it is? Find that out. Read the agreement. Then go and ask the company, why are you not resetting it? Because you have to find out whether to what it is linked. So it is linked to a particular base rate and it will be reset every month or every quarter. The more frequent it is, the better it is for you, especially in a falling interest scenario. So you have to ask them, how often will you do? And if you're saying they've been doing it every quarter, there is no reason why they should now not be doing it. So please go and find out, ask them. Or it is possible that in the last 6 months interest rates have not changed, so it's not been reset, so it will be reset now. But interest rates are going down, so there should be reset. There has to be a lowering of interest rates. You have to ask them why they have not done it.
I've called them. Actually, I've taken the loan from LIC and I've called them up. And I was discussing with this issue with them, but they told me you have to pay some certain amount of amount and 0.4% or something like that they mentioned, and then the interest rate will come down. So they are actually forcing me to make the payment. Okay.
Yes.
Is this because of the MCLR thing, the move to MCLR, etc.? Is that why he is being
I think all finance companies are doing this for resetting. They're charging you a processing fee, which may not be a big amount, but yes, they're all charging. I don't even know whether this is okay, whether you can complain to NHB, but yeah, it may be a small amount. It may be 5,000, 6,000, but every time there is a reset, there is an admin charge. So you need to find out, but it will definitely be worthwhile paying it because the EMI will go down for you either in terms of the amount or in the number of installments to be paid. But yes, if you have signed the agreement which says that there is a admin fee for the reset, you have no choice, you will have to pay it.
So that's it. You need to revisit your agreement, the loan agreement that you signed. Go through it very thoroughly, and then you probably have signed some paper somewhere saying that you need to pay an admin fee. So you need to check. And like Subra said, get in touch with the bank concerned and ask them what is the reason, why they are not resetting your current interest rate. Subra, we have another caller on the line, but before we take that, very quickly tell me this. We know that the banking system as a whole has moved to the MCLR rate now from the base rate. So for existing borrowers, for somebody who has been servicing a loan for the last 5 years, 10 years or whatever, if they want to take advantage of the lower interest rates of the MCLR, which is probably at a lower rate, how can they do that? Apart from approaching the bank, do they also have to pay a fee upfront?
I think so, because all these banks know that when there is a reset, there is an admin fee, which may be a small amount, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 rupees. But I think all of them have it. At least I know the bigger fund houses, bigger banks have it. So I'm sure there will be some charge for any such shift, because there is an admin effort involved. So I'm sure there will be some admin charges. So
right.
Yeah, you will have to pay.
Here is the thing. If you are a home loan borrower, don't just take the home loan and go to sleep and let the money go, let your EMIs go through an ECS route. You need to monitor that loan on a monthly basis at least. You need to monitor that loan. You need to keep in touch with the bank, and you need to revisit it from time to time. Look at what are the interest rates in the market. Only then you would have got yourself a really good deal. We have Rathor Raj now, who's called in from Mumbai. Rathor, how can we help you?
Yes, I'm inquiring regarding reverse mortgage loan.
Okay.
You know, my flat, I have a terrace flat right at 7 Bungalows, Andheri West, prime location, and it is sea facing. So regarding this reverse mortgage loan, if I have to go for it, so the value is, I'm estimating around 3 CR or something. And I don't want a loan of 3 CR. Say around, I want about 1 CR loan.
Okay.
Whichever bank, National Bank, or who's you're having this scheme of reverse mortgage. So what is the procedure like?
Okay. First of all, I think, Subra, you need to clarify what is a reverse mortgage here, because you don't technically get a loan. You don't get an upfront payment, right? You get a monthly payment.
Yeah, see, a reverse mortgage is exactly what it says. It's the reverse of the mortgage which you did earlier. Earlier, you went and took a loan, you bought a house, and you paid them every month something. Now, what they do is they pay you every month. It's like an annuity which you get. It's like a pension which you get. The only thing is you will get it for the rest of your life. So, the starting age, you have to be minimum 62 years of age. I think PNB looks at 60 years of age also, but they also look at the age of the building. So they're a little fussy about how old the building is. If the building is already 20-25 years old, then they are not very sure whether they'll be able to get anything as a residual value if you live really long. So the thing is, yes, you could be able to get 1 crore, but you have to again look at the market value, not at the market value, but at the book value, because Bombay transactions may not be at 3 crores, it may be at 2 crores of check, and so you have to be careful. So on that, they will give you a haircut or a discount, as they call, and on that they will pay you something like 6-7% per annum. So the company which I know which is really keen on doing some kind of reverse mortgage is PNB, Punjab National Bank. So maybe you should go to them and ask. But if you are a youngster, you don't stand a chance. You have to be 60, 62 years. And if it's a joint property, your co-owner, which could be your wife, she should also be at least 58. So if you are a 60-year-old owning it and your wife is 54, you cannot get it. The wife has to be 58 and you have to be 60. I'm assuming she's younger to you. Only then you will be able to get. And again, when you look at the amount that you get, you may not be very happy with that. The other worry is, if you put the only asset, assuming this is the only asset you have, and you put it on reverse mortgage, tomorrow you want 20-30 lakhs more. There is no way you can do anything. So this asset of yours is stuck for the rest of your life. Only on your death will your children get it, or will somebody else get it, or the company will take it, sell it and give the money back. So you have to be very, very careful before doing this deal. It's not a very popular thing as of now in India.
Subra, you just said it's not a very popular thing, and from the answer you gave Rathor, I also gather that you yourself don't seem to be very much in favor of it. What are your issues with the product as such?
No, my thing is, if I have given a 3 crore house, like what he's saying, and I am getting, say, 15,000 per month or 14,000 per month, maybe it's a good amount, bad amount, I'm not even arguing. But suddenly, if I want another 30 lakhs for a heart operation or something like that, I can't get it. The only asset I have is stuck in this place. So, to me, I would rather sell that house and buy a cheaper house and live somewhere else instead of trying to do a reverse mortgage. The other worry is, if my building is already 20 years old, and after 10 or 15 years, they come and say, nahi, humko bhi ye deal cancel karna hai. I'm already 75, 80 years of age. What will I do then? I don't know whether I can get out of the deal, not get out of the deal. There is not enough clarity.
As such,
and
right.
None of the biggies are chasing it. Only PNB is Punjab National Bank is doing it. I don't see the HDFCs, ICICI, SBI is all getting into it. So I don't think there is enough comprehensive literature on this or legislation on this. So we don't know what could be the complications.
So you're better off getting into investing in an annuity product in your in the early part of your life, you would say.
Or you sell this and buy a smaller house or in a different location.
And put it in an FD. You'll get much better rates.
Yeah.
Rohit Ladda is on the line from Mumbai next. Rohit, what's your question?
Yeah. Hi, Kavita. So I'm a 20... Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. So I'm a 25-year-old IT professional from Mumbai.
Okay.
So currently I own a 3 BHK in Panvel. And I have a loan of around 12.5 lakhs against it for a tenure of 15 years. So after few initial repayments, the loan amount currently is 7.8 lakhs and the tenure left is 78 months. And my current gross income is, after excluding variables, EMI and stuff, is around 46,000. And my future plan is to buy my dream home in Navi Mumbai, but with better locality. Now I have managed to save further and gather an amount. So my query is, should I use these savings to further repay the loan and clear it out? Or should I invest it in any other medium like mutual funds, etc., which would give me better returns? Or should I take another home loan as per my eligibility and invest in a smaller property with the help of these savings? And please advise.
Okay, Rohit, that's a very interesting question there. And let me get this, just check this with you. You said you're 25 years old, right?
Yeah.
Right. So at 25, Subra, Rohit already owns a home. He has some savings set away. Now he wants to know what he can do with this surplus money that he has. Invest it, buy another sort of starter home which will lead him towards his dream home, or pay off his existing home loan. That's quite an option to have at that age, I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. First of all, you should not use this money to pay off the existing home loan, because I think you're very comfortable paying the current EMI. So there is no reason why you should pay off the home loan and do something like that. What should you do? Because you have already got a home, you should put some money in equities, let it grow, and maybe after 5 years, maybe you're married and you need a house in which to live. So I don't know whether you're living, because you don't really need a 3 BHK to live when you're not even married. So you could have bought a 2 BHK maybe in Kharghar or Belapur or something like that, where you would have got a slightly smaller house because of the prices being higher. So maybe you could have done it. But right now, I think you can invest in some equity mutual funds. Give it about 5 years, by which time I think your loan would have come down substantially. It's already at 7.8 lakhs. So it should have come down substantially, and then you decide to sell off this house, put some of your own money and buy a bigger house. Maybe buy a 3 BHK in Belapur or something like that. There's no hurry to buy a second house. You're not being pushed out to buy a second house. So don't buy a second house. Get another asset class, could be equity. You could do an SIP without any pressure, because your EMI is comfortably happening. So see how much you are able to do, and then at a later stage, maybe after 5 years, sell off everything and buy your dream house. You know, no hurry. You're still too young.
You're in no hurry, Rohit, and it's the old adage again, when you're investing, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You already have invested in real estate, so let that asset grow. Invest in equities or in any other asset which, whatever asset you're comfortable with, like Subra said, let that asset also grow. Then combine both, sell the existing property, use the money and buy a bigger property. That would be a nice thing for you to do. Like Subra said, you do have time on your hand, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling in. We need to move on to our next question. Rajesh Singh has sent in a question on our website, www.mbnow.in. Now, Rajesh booked a property in Transcon Triumph in Andheri, Mumbai. The developer took 80 lakh rupees as an initial booking amount. Later, they told him that due to RERA, that is the real estate regulator, they can't make a sale agreement. Now, the bank is not willing to disburse the loan. The developer is forcing him to go to Tata Capital. No allotment letter has been given so far. What should he do? Now, I can tell you one thing outright. RERA will eventually come into play 1 year down the line, but that should not deter anybody from, making a sale agreement to you. It is your right to have an agreement of sale if you've made any payment to the developer. So if you're even paying 1 rupee to the developer, you should have a sale agreement. You should be signing a sale deed over there. So that in itself, I believe, should be a red flag as far as this transaction is concerned. Subra, what would you say about the loan part of it?
Absolutely, completely agree with Kavita. See, a company which takes money from you and says we can't give you an agreement, there's something shady. I mean, go to a big developer, go to a big lender like a HDFC. He is going to look at all the documents and then only lend. If a HDFC or an ICICI or an SBI does not want to lend money on that property, it's a big red flag. Take your 80 lakhs and run. I mean, something is wrong, right? Because of which these guys don't want to risk. So they don't want to risk their money. At the same time, you are risking your money. Now, I have nothing against Tata Capital, but what is the deal that they have with Tata Capital? Why? Because of which Tata Capital is willing to give you, but the HDFC, SBI and ICICI is not willing to give to you. I think you should take your money back, say give back my 80 lakhs and I will decide what to do. They cannot tell you where you should go. That's your call. At what rate you want to borrow, how much you want to borrow, it's your call. What happens if you're putting in your own money? I mean, you still need an agreement, right? Even if your father were to lend money to you or your wife were to lend money to you, somebody wants to know whether the property is protected. Why would you not? So please insist on the documentation or get out of the deal. If you can get back your 80 lakhs, do a deal with somebody else or do a fresh deal saying, I don't know about RERA or anything, but please, if I'm making you a payment, I want an agreement and I want a proper agreement. And if this agreement is not being vetted by the biggie lenders, just stay away.
You know, Rajesh, here's what I would suggest you do. First, get all your papers in place. Get all the paperwork that you have regarding this particular project in place. This will include the brochures because you don't have an agreement. So you need to have something to show that you actually paid them 80 lakh rupees. I'm hoping you've got a receipt over here. So get that receipt in place. Get the brochures, whatever flyers the developer's given you, whatever else they've given you, the blueprint, the flat, those blueprints which mark the flat that is being allotted to you. Keep all of that in place, make a file, and then go and speak to the developer. Ask the developer for your money back, say you're not very comfortable doing this deal, and then if they refuse, you can actually send them a legal notice, go to a lawyer, consult a good lawyer, and ensure that you get your money back. Because the very fact that A, they are not willing to sign a sale agreement with you, and B, they are forcing you to go to a particular NBFC, both of those are huge, huge red flags. And to my mind, you should not continue on this project. But of course, at the end of the day, the decision is yours to take. But if you do need any more help, do feel free to call us. Our next caller is dialed in. Sachin Shah has called in from Pune now. How can we help you, Sachin? Sachin, you'll have to switch off the TV. You'll have to mute the TV. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of disturbance on the line.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Sachin. Could you mute the TV set first?
Yeah, I have muted it.
Okay.
The basic question which I need to ask is, what is the CIBIL score, what they look for, which everybody talks about taking a home loan or any kind of loan. And according to that, other than CIBIL score, what are the different things that they look for to buy a property or to take a loan, according to that?
You know, that's home loan 101, but that's a great question. What is the CIBIL score? What is an ideal CIBIL score? Also very important, considering that one biggie, the Bank of Baroda has already started linking your interest rate to the CIBIL score. So if you have a good score, chances are you'll get a good rate from that particular bank at least. Subra, can you explain?
Yeah, the CIBIL score varies from 300 to 900. So 900 I think is at the extreme end. Anything above 750 is good. So the minute you have a score above 750, all banks will start calling you saying, sir, we have a credit card for you, we have this facility and all that. So any score above 750 is good. But a score above 750 does not mean you're a very high income earner. It just means you're repaying all your loans properly and honestly. So when you're trying to ask for a loan, they're also seeing how much is your total earning ability, how much are your expenses, how much are the other loans that you're repaying, and what is the comfortable amount of EMI that you can afford. So your CIBIL score is a good place to start, but if you have a high CIBIL score, it does not mean you will get a high amount. You will get a better interest rate, but the amount of loan you get is a function of how much you are earning and how much you are spending. So if you are earning 1 lakh and you are spending only 10-15,000, they realize that you have got a very high capacity to repay. So you will get a slightly higher loan. But if you are earning 1 lakh and spending away 70,000 rupees or 80,000 rupees, then they are also a little wary as to how much of loan they can give you. So it's a function of how much you are earning, how much you are spending, how much you are investing, and what is your CIBIL score. All these factors will matter. But if you have a low CIBIL score, the chances are they will not even talk to you.
So essentially it shows it is like your credit rating. Like companies have a credit rating, individuals have a CIBIL score. Subra, like I said earlier, BOB has started linking their interest rates. Now they're looking at your CIBIL score when they're giving you a home loan, which banks are anyway doing, but they are doing it upfront and they're willing to negotiate on the interest rate is what we've heard. Do you see other banks doing that going forward?
Going forward, I think even your landlord is going to ask you for your CIBIL score. Your employer is going to ask you for your CIBIL score. It's not very far away, because I know when I'm taking somebody in my company, I know if this guy has got a good discipline track record or no. So why would and I know I can get it free. All I need to do is call them up and get a report, or a report is available for a very small fee. So going forward, the CIBIL score will be used extensively by a lot of people. Your employer, your landlord, anybody wanting to deal with you financially would obviously want to see your CIBIL score. So it's happening in the other countries, so why will it not happen here? I'm sure.
And in fact, it's a nice time to discuss the CIBIL score, because just recently the RBI said that you have the right to get your credit score once in 6 months, and you'll get it free of cost. So that is something that you need to keep tabs on. And also you need to be very proactive as far as your credit score is concerned. Say there was one repayment or one EMI that you defaulted on sometime in the past, and this could be even the repayment on your credit card. If you've not paid your credit card bills in time, if you've defaulted on that, that also reflects on your CIBIL score, and you have to actually follow up very proactively with CIBIL to get that score in place. You'll have to follow up with your bank, you'll have to follow up with your CIBIL, and only then can it really reflect in your score. It doesn't matter if otherwise you've been very disciplined, right? Subra, what do you say?
I mean, if you have your CIBIL score, and if you find your CIBIL score is dropping, it is also possible that somebody else is misusing your CIBIL score or or your credit card or anything like that. So you have to be very careful. If you apply for a credit card and you don't get it, you have to be very scared, because somebody else could be doing something with your CIBIL score. So better to monitor it at least on an annual basis. And if it drops too low, you know what to do. Get your disciplined act in place.
Right. Moving on, we have Mahesh now, who's called in from Pune. Mahesh, how can we help you?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Tell us.
Yes. My question is, I have two properties and both are on loan. So I just wanted to ask if I can sell one of the properties and try to prepay the loan. So what will be the tax on, will I have to pay any tax on that if I get some capital gain out of it?
Yes, of course. If you sell a property and repay the loan, that does not stop you from paying income tax. If you have capital gains tax, you will pay tax. That's all. So if you have held it for at least 3 years, then you will pay long-term capital gains tax, and you will get the benefit of indexation. So it may or may not be very high. But if you have not held it for 3 years, you will pay short-term capital gains tax. So be careful when you are selling and what you are doing. Having another house and repaying a loan, etc., has nothing to do with your taxability. If you have got 5 houses and you sell off 4 houses and repay the loans, it doesn't matter how you repay the loans. The minute you sell a house, whether you have a loan on it, don't have a loan on it is different. The minute you sell a house, you will end up paying capital gains tax. If you make profits, you will pay capital gains tax.
The only way you can actually save on that capital gains tax is by reinvesting the gains in another house. That is the only way you can actually, or putting it in capital gain bonds, right?
Yeah, you can put it in capital gain bonds, which again has a limitation. You can put only up to 50 lakhs. Or you buy another house and then you will. But in your case, since you already have 2 houses, you will not get that benefit also. So please be careful.
Right,
you will end up paying the tax.
You will have to pay income tax, you will have to pay capital gains tax on that transaction if you choose to sell your house and repay your home loan. Email query coming in now. Ravi Jain says that he owns 2 properties. He's paid back the entire loan for his first property. The second property is under construction and will be ready by the end of the year. What tax benefits can he avail on the second property? He plans to rent out the second property and occupy the first one. Can he claim any tax deduction when it's still under construction?
No, as long as it's under construction, you cannot claim any tax benefit. But sometimes you get that 80C benefit, which is a loan repayment. But the interest you definitely can't get as a deduction. Interest as a deduction is available only after the house is occupied or it is given out on rent. So the minute you give it out on rent, you will be able to start claiming the deduction, which could be very good, because all the interest will be reduced from the rent that you get. So you might actually get a loss under the house property which you're filing your income tax return. So yes, you can get, but you cannot get anything as long as it's not given out on rent. As long as it's not occupied, you can't get the interest payment for sure.
So what Subra essentially is trying to tell you here, Ravi, is that you need to get the possession certificate. The conveyance certificate, the occupancy certificate. You need to take possession of that property only then can you claim deduction on the interest that you've paid on that particular home loan, and that too you can only claim in 5 annual installments. So what it means is, say you've already paid the home loan EMI for 3 years, the amount that you've already paid, the interest that you've paid, you can claim deduction for it once you get possession over the next 5 years. You'll have to break it up and claim it over the next 5 years. However, the entire amount that you can claim in 1 year is still limited to 3.5 lakh, which means it is still capped at the 3.5 lakh rupees mark. This will include what you will be claiming as tax deduction on the interest and the principal repayment that you've done for that particular year as well. We have an email query coming in now. Saurabh Gupta wants to know if he can get tax benefits on a second home loan. If not, can he buy the home in his wife's name and take the loan in her name as well, and in turn contribute to her and avail the tax benefits? Now he says his wife is salaried as well.
Yes, of course you can do. In fact, you can buy it in a joint name and both of you can claim the tax benefits. The second house also gets a tax benefit if you give it out on rent. You receive the rent which is treated as your income, and the interest that you paid is reduced from that. So there is no reason why you should do it in your wife's name or to do it in your name. You can do it in joint names, and both of you, if you pay half for it, both of you can get the deduction. So there is nothing. If you wanted to buy it in your wife's name because she wants a whole deduction, that's also fine.
Right, so those are your options. You can buy it in your name, you can buy it in your wife's name, or you can buy it in both your names and both of you all can claim the tax deduction. Website query next. Ganesh Kumar says that he and his wife are registered owners of a property. They are both working. He plans to move abroad soon. Now he wants to know if both he and his wife can apply for a home loan as co-applicants. So they already have a property and they want to apply for a home loan.
Yeah, of course you should be able to. Only thing is, it makes a lot of sense to finish all these things before you change your residential status, because the minute you change your residential status, they will ask for the repayment coming from your NRE account and from your NRO account and all that. So you might as well finish all the documentation, take the loan and all that, and then go abroad and still repay. So you can do. Of course, if you want to go abroad and then apply for a loan, even that is possible. It should not be difficult for you to do that. Asking for a loan for buying one property from for which you're going to repay from your income abroad should not be an issue at all.
Right, that's it on today's episode of Property Hotline. However, here's what we've learned today. You need to be a proactive borrower. You need to monitor those interest rates that you're paying, the home loan that you're paying. You get a home loan statement. Read that home loan statement on a monthly basis or at least on a quarterly basis. Monitor what you're paying, what is the rate at which you are getting the loan, because that will ensure that you get a better deal. You can actually go and negotiate better with the bank. The second thing that you need to monitor, especially if you're in the market to take a loan or if you already have a loan, is your CIBIL score. The CIBIL score is very important. It is an indicator of your credit worthiness, and that is something that you need to keep close track of. If your CIBIL score suddenly starts dropping, chances are somebody is misusing that particular information. You have a right to get a CIBIL score free of cost once every 6 months. So ensure that you get it and ensure that you monitor it. If you have any questions related to real estate, you know who to get in touch with. Thank you very much, Subra, for coming in, for answering all those questions. Do send in your questions. We'll get the country's top experts to answer each and every one of them. Thank you very much for tuning into Property Hotline.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.